Good morning, Dylan. Thank you so much for joining me here.
No worry. Thanks for having us.
So we're gathered together to have a good old chat about what Valley Outdoors is going to be doing on the Yila Healing Trail in October. And thank you so much for jumping on quickly. Your offering couldn't be more kind of in line with what we're trying to achieve with the Yila Healing Trail. So thanks.
No worry. Thank you.
Maybe we can just start bang in and talk a little bit about what the actual event might look like. That you're going to be running. I gather you've run this particular experience before, the mindfulness canoe experience, but maybe you'd like to tell us a little bit about it so that we get the picture.
Yeah, well, I might go back up just a little bit further and talk about what it is that we do as an organization, and how the mindfulness experience feeds into that.
Okay.
So, Valley Outdoors, we're based in the Kangaroo Valley on Durrell country, and we deliver canoeing, camping, and other outdoor experiences. And we work really hard to make sure that they're accessible and inclusive, and really about getting people to spend time in nature together in order to connect to what's important. And we know that that there are incredible benefits from people spending time in nature for their relationships to others, their unhealthy relationships to food, alcohol, digital devices, and other vices. We know that there are benefits for people spending time in nature in terms of connecting to country and understanding the complex web of life that we're a part of. And so our business exists to get people to spend time in nature together, to connect to all of those things, and hopefully to change the world. We're in the business of changing the world, not just going on canoeing tours or walking tours. And so,
And I just want to pause you there. Like there's the global picture, folks, which is why I'm so excited to have you along with us. And that reconnection to country and over here at the Yila Healing Trail, that is the whole point of what we're doing. And we see reconnection to country as in nature, as in lands, seas, waterways, and skies, as being a reconnection to ourselves, because that's what it is. And so the respect that we develop for country all around us is respect for ourselves. And no wonder everybody feels better spending a day on a canoe, right?
yes, and we think in addition to the amazing benefits that it has for ourselves, we also think it has the incredible social benefits of connecting to different cultures, different communities, and to people that we normally don't take the time to connect to, and that can even include our own families. So obviously, when we heard about the Yila Healing Trail, we just saw that strong affinity, and really were delighted to be asked to be a part of that. And so, getting to your original question, what's the experience? So we're going to contribute the Valley Outdoors mindfulness canoeing experience, and that's going to head from the words are escaping me, Tallowa Dam up into the Shoalhaven Gorge. And the Shoalhaven Gorge is the most scenic flat water paddling venue in all of Australia. It's incredible. As soon as you leave Tallowa Dam, you're transported into the Moreton Wilderness, the Ettrimer Wilderness in the Moreton National Park. And it is just stunning waterway, and it's a legislative wilderness, which means it's had very little development and human impact. Obviously, the white fella definition of wilderness excludes the 40-odd thousand years of other human impacts over millennia. But yes, it's an incredible natural waterway, and it's a lovely place to go. The waterway itself, unlike many other waterways across Australia, is not permitted to have motorized boats on it. And so the only other people that you'll encounter out there are similarly passionate paddlers. And so we head out into that venue and spend a small amount of time giving people the skills they need, obviously, to be able to participate in the canoeing activity with confidence and competence. But then swiftly we move into reflecting about how the act of making your way through a landscape in a canoe can be a mindful practice. And so we focus on this. We're doing a range of activities during the experience, but one of the things that we do is we focus on a thing called single tasking. So instead of multitasking, it's all about just focusing intently on one thing. And so most people who do meditation would be familiar with that in terms of breathing practices and things like that. But for the canoeing session, we do this as a paddling process. And so it's this singular focus on moving through the landscape, listening to the sounds as you go through the landscape, feeling the water as you carve your blade through, and really going, wow, there's this connection between myself, my craft, the waterway, and then the broader landscape around me. I'm not very good at this activity myself. I'm a talker and a mover, and so I really struggle on these types of things, but I certainly feel the benefits.
As they say, Dylan, you teach what you need to know. So will it be you that's going to take this out for us? Or
No, not at all. No, you'll be in the hands of far more competent people than me. So no, I drive a desk for Valley Outdoors, and no, the rest of the team you'll be in their safe and very competent hands for delivering that experience. And the difference for them as well is that they are long time I was going to say visitors, but their passion is for this place and their connection is to this place. And so they won't just be talking about generically paddling on a waterway. They'll be helping to assist in connecting to that particular waterway and the stories that we have in connection to that place. Unfortunately, on this particular experience, it won't be in partnership with our Aboriginal cultural partners that we work with in the area, but we've got some of their stories that they've happily shared with us, some little ways of connecting that we share with our guests, which we're delighted to be able to do.
Well, we've got quite a few different events happening up in the Kangaroo Valley with people from Gangagruwan and all kinds of cultural representatives, some traditional landowners. So it's pretty exciting. And we hope that, by the time people have been through the whole Yila Healing Trail, they'll have woven much more of a story about the lands because, as you said, it's not just a waterway in a piece of wilderness. It's very particular and it has a personality. And it has history and it has beautiful meaning and things that can be learned. So yeah, for us, we hope that the whole of this Yila Healing Trail from right up to, Shoalhaven heads down to Durras North and out to Kangaroo Valley will all come alive in that respect, become a story for people. So I'm excited to hear that that's part of the journey. Hey, can you tell us a little bit about what you've done in the past with First Nations people around here?
Yeah, sure. So I've only been with the organisation for nearly 3 years now, and so my knowledge of our connections to that only extend that far. However, I'm delighted to say that they're quite extensive. So we've got a really marvelous partnership with Jiraba Wagara and Matty Sims and his crew in a lot of products that we deliver for leadership experiences with adult groups. So Matty's really marvelous on those programs, and we're delighted to work with him. And that extends from programs up here in the Kangaroo Valley, but also all the way down to the Shoalhaven mouth, which is really lovely. And then we've also worked extensively with Gangagruwan, which is Ray Timbery and all of his marvelous team, particularly in the delivery of the festival that we run, which is the Festival of Canoe and Kayak, which I'm representing here. And Ray and his team have been marvelously involved in that event since its inception. But also there's been some great other cultural crossovers there. So at the festival last year, Gangagruwan actually made a canoe as part of the festival, which obviously we were pretty happy about. And that we're now the caretakers of that Nawi. That's the Darrell word for canoe, and that lives in our shop in the valley, which is a really precious thing for us and keeps us connected there, which is so lovely.
And actually Gangagruwan are coming to borrow back that Ngawi. I don't know if you know that, not this week, coming weekend, but the weekend after for the Viking Festival. So
Oh, yeah, great.
they're going to test it out because it's been hanging on your wall for a bit. So just to make sure that there's no leaks, and then they'll be in
Yes, they might have a few to plug up.
yeah, so the Yila Healing Trail does a lot of pre-events, and one of the pre-events is the First Nations village precinct down there at the Viking Festival, where people will be coming along and we're seeing what a Ngawi is all about, hopefully having a bit of a paddle, definitely a touch and a feel and a chat, and hopefully signing up to be part of making a Ngawi for Sussex Inlet, to always have a Ngawi down there at the heads for the Viking Festival. So yeah.
Oh, wow, that's very cool. Yeah.
Yeah, so thank you for being the people that you know, helped bring that about the first time with Gangagruwan.
Well, I'll just on that, after having experienced that, them crafting that, it was there's obviously there's the process of getting the bark off the tree, which is done in a remote location. But then once the bark arrives, and then the Gangagruwan team starts working on the timber to shape it and to mold it and to tie it, and all the glues and things they use in terms of native fibers and bindings and all those sorts of stuff. If you get an opportunity to go check that out, I would absolutely encourage you and anyone else who's watching to go and check that out, because it was such an incredible experience. And even if it's past your kids' bedtime and it's cold in the middle of winter, if you're there for the launching of it, it's such an incredible experience to have this thing that was the bark of a tree to then become this object that has a community bound into it, then floating away into a waterway. That was such a treasure to be a part of, and we were really fortunate to have that experience, and I hope that you get to share it.
I hope so too. I don't know whether it's men's business or not in the making thereof, but I think that primarily it will be people from cultural background making that canoe. But the launch, yes, definitely, it's a big public event down in Sussex Inlet when it all happens. So hopefully we'll be able to launch it next Viking Festival.
Yeah, good.
June 2025. Well, look, I'm so excited that you're with us, that you're a partner, and I will be putting the link to booking in with you. I think we'll need to be pretty early. I'm not sure how many canoes you're actually bringing on that event or what your capacity is. Can you remember off the top of your head?
No, I can't remember. I would think that it's probably a maximum of 40, but not in one group. We'd split them up across multiple groups so that they're not having this sort of mass crowd experience, but it certainly wouldn't be more than that. So yes, get in quick.
Yeah, get in quick. All right. Well, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate you coming along. And is there any last thoughts about the Yila Healing Trail, about what you're doing, about where the world's going that you'd like to share before we sign off?
For us, whilst we are about getting people to spend time in nature together in order to connect to what's important, we're really clear that that doesn't need to be with us. And we encourage, like, we're here to help people who need assistance in facilitating those experiences due to a lack of skill or fears or whatever else, and we're delighted to do so. But we would just constantly encourage people to go and spend their own time in nature in order to connect to what's important, connect to country, and achieve the aims that the Yila Festival is trying to achieve.
Thanks so very much, Dylan. And I'm so glad that you exist up there in the Kangaroo Valley. What a beautiful place to be located, and that you're bringing the waterways alive. So thanks for all your efforts in reconnecting people to country.
No worry. Thank you so much. And we're really looking forward to being a part.